All right, here we are for day 2 of our six-figure VA series. Rachel, are you feeling any better today?
I feel like I've turned a corner, but y'all, the cough is still there. I told Abby my mouse is going to be hovering over my mute button just in case I have a coughing attack. But you know what? Super stoked to jump into day 2 and look at the next 2 steps in our 6 steps framework.
Yes, 100%. Yesterday's training was so good. And so many of you guys showed up, had incredible questions, incredible stories of, the growth that you've had in your own companies. We really cast vision to where you want to be in your business. And we talked largely about your offer and how you can create a signature offer that is something that is really, really unique, not only to your talents, but solves a pain point. And so if you missed day 1's training, you can still access that. If you guys have signed up for this training, you'll be getting an email with all the replays. And all of these videos are over on YouTube and on our Facebook page. So you can just go and check those out as well. And yeah, we're just really excited for today's training because, again, this is going to be really meaty. We're going to have a lot of tactical things that you can do in order to, again, go into that scaling phase of your business. How do you scale your business from where you are now to that 6-figure mark? The great thing is it does not involve more hustle. Yay! Everyone say yay in the comments. Less hustle. Let's do this. How do you scale your business without more hustle? It's with systems and simplicity. And that's what this training is all about. So we're going to dive right in.
Let us know in the comments what was one CEO level action. And I just love that terminology right there, because if you are here and you have launched your business, and I don't necessarily mean in a formal way, but you've just claimed that you're a business owner, you are the CEO. So what is one CEO level action step that you took away from yesterday's training? During our reflection, we challenged you to think about your offer, what offer you currently have that's scalable, as well as what is one step in your onboarding process that needs to be refined. So let us know in the comments. We would love to hear. It's helpful for us to know what was helpful for you. What was one CEO level action that you took away from yesterday's training? And we would love to share those with everybody as we're jumping on today. Also, shout out to all of our coaches. They are in the comments today across our different channels. You're going to see Vanessa and Nicole later on in our live stream. They're going to be here to answer questions, as well as Narissa's hanging out over on YouTube. And we have Erica as well hanging out so you can ask questions. And then we're going to have some time for Q&A at the end. So let's jump in. Abby, what do we have next to share with them? Are we going to share what is open and available?
Yes, for sure. I was going to just highlight a few of the action that took
Yes.
that individuals took away from yesterday's teaching, narrowing down to a niche. Yes. Niches are in the riches are in the niches, not the other way. But when you first start in your business, we actually recommend people don't niche down a lot of times when you're just starting out. But once you really start to hit stride in your business, there is something to be said about becoming an expert in something. And instead of doing that, I can do anything you want. What can I take off your plate? Saying, hey, I know how to build websites, or I know how to do social media, or I know how to do processes and systems. And so I'm going to be the expert here and give you my system of how to do it. It's a way to streamline your processes. It's a way to charge more by positioning yourself as an expert. I love that you took that away from yesterday. Dubsado CRM workflows and automation. Yes, that you can automate things. We're going to be talking about that a little bit more today, using systems automations to make the onboarding process easier. Yes, we talked about the importance of taking time not to just work in your business, not just working with clients, which is so important. And we love that you serve your clients so well, but how do you also work on your business, right? Taking a little bit of time away from your business every single week to improve your systems, to improve your processes, to actually add automations, right? So love that we took all of that away. Make sure, I love this, less doing, more delegating. We're going to be talking about that even more today, Heather. So you guys are in the right place. I do want to remind you before we jump into the teaching that, well, number one, we are going to be talking about advanced marketing skills today. So really diving into not just what what the skills, the marketing skills that are needed in order to get your business kind of off the ground and running, it actually looks a little different. And once you're in the scaling phase, your marketing needs to take a different approach. And so that's what we're going to be looking into today. And again, that less doing, more delegating, we're going to be talking about how to free yourself from the day-to-day hustle of your business. Now, this is what I wanted to share. I do want to let you know that applications to Savvy Circle are open now. I know some of you guys have already applied. We've already actually had some approved applications as well. So excited. But through Thursday, May 11th, you guys can apply at thesavvycircle.com. This is our 1-year group coaching program that we walk alongside you step by step. It's not, Savvy System, as amazing as it is, it's for people who are just getting started in their business, how to launch, grow your business, to really replace your income with Savvy System. The goal in Savvy Circle is to scale. So if you're already making $2,000 or so in your business and you're wanting to scale to 6 figures, that's where the Savvy Circle comes in. We really elevate you to CEO level and bring you through a system that helps give you the path of how to actually scale your offers, how to build systems, how to have metrics and forecasting, and really the accountability. So you're not only getting the step-by-step system, but really the power is in our actual accountability calls, is in the cohort that you get put in with a team of people cheering you along. You get a dedicated Slack channel where anytime you could be asking for critiques. So super excited about Savvy Circle. Go to thesavvycircle.com if you want to apply. It costs nothing to apply. So go ahead and make sure that, apply, and we'll see if this is a fit for you. We'll let you know if it is or if it's not, because we do review every single application, but you'll hear back from us in about 24 hours to find out if you are accepted into Savvy Circle. Anything else, Rachel, before we move on?
Quick shout out. I see a Savvy Circle member in the comments. Samantha is hanging out. Her niche is actually the pet industry, and she has done a phenomenal job inside of Savvy Circle. So just want to give her a quick shout out because I saw her name pop across my comment screen here as we're rolling through. But yeah, no fee to apply. Apply. You can schedule a call. If you're approved, you can schedule a call with a team member and we can talk through whether or not this is the best fit for you. We are here to support you throughout the entire process.
For sure. So let's do a quick recap. Yesterday, we talked about our Savvy Circle model. And essentially, whenever you are building your business, any type of business, because this model really applies to pretty much every single business model that's out there, you have to have the thing that you're selling, right? What is the thing? And when you first started your business, you came up with your set of services, your skill, what are your packages, right? Is that hourly or package-based pricing? Then you figured out how to market it. You told your friends and family, right? You got out there and told people how to do your business, or told people about your business. Then you had to come up with the systems, and maybe that was a team, or maybe it was just some automations. We talked about Dubsado or Honeybook. How are you going to do your onboarding? How are you going to have a discovery call? What are the tools that you need in order to do that, right? What are the systems to actually make your business work? Then you dive into metrics. Over time, you start to see, okay, if I have, for every 5 discovery calls, I usually sign 3 clients. So my goal is to get 5 discovery calls a month, right? You can start really plugging in and keeping track of some of those numbers. I'll be the first to admit that that is one of, it used to be at least one of my downfalls. I went years in business without really keeping track of my metrics. And it is amazing what happens when you actually start to keep track. And we'll talk about that actually in tomorrow's lesson. But when you start to keep track of some of your numbers, not just how much money you're bringing in, but what are your expenses? What is your overall profit month over month? How many outreaches do I need to do in order to get this many discovery calls? How many discovery calls do I need to do in order to, get this many clients? Your numbers tell a story, right? And so you can start to see trends and you can start to see areas for improvement. Oh, I'm realizing that I'm getting tons of discovery calls, but I'm not closing any. Maybe I need to work on actually closing sales, right? And so, and improve that skill. And so there's so much that can be had when you start to really dive into metrics. So I'm excited to talk about that tomorrow. But what's cool is as you're going through this system, you'll notice that we come back to your offer. So it doesn't end, right? And so many of you guys are at the point where you've kind of done this, right? And maybe you didn't do it at 110%, right? And action over perfection. That's what we're all about here at the Virtual Savvy. But you did it. You moved through the system, and now you're like, I'm ready to do it again. And now you're ready to raise your rates or coming up with a higher priced offer, right? A higher end offer. And so that's really what we talked about yesterday was your offer. And today we're going to be diving into the marketing and team aspect, right? We went over the irresistible offer, seamless internal systems. Again, that's how to actually do your onboarding process, your discovery calls, making sure that those internal systems are seamless and line up with your offer. And once you have that, again, we talked about yesterday, if we gave you 20 more clients right now, would you actually be ready? Are your systems at a place where you could actually take that many clients on right now? If not, maybe that's why you're not growing, is that you're not positioned for growth, right? But once you have those things in place, once you say, man, I am ready, my back end system could actually handle bringing on more people, it's time to dive into that viral visibility, which is step number 3. So that's what we're going to be talking about here today, viral visibility and cultivated team growth, which I want to note, as we go through Savvy Circle, the actual year-long coaching program that I'm talking about, or that we have, applications open for right now, what we actually do is we break this down into sprints. So we lead you throughout the year through each one of these systems. So we're like cat out of the bag. We're literally telling you exactly what we do inside of the Savvy Circle, what we walk through with you guys. So this is a big part of it, is viral visibility. The thing is that what got you to this point in your business is not the exact same method that's going to get you to the next point in your business, right? And here's what we've noticed. We've noticed that most people at the level that you're at, right? Everyone here, or maybe not. I know some of you guys are like, oh, I'm kind of here and I'm not really ready for the scale phase. And that's okay. Just know that eventually you will be at the point where you know how to market, right? Like if I said, go out and get more clients, most of you would say, I actually know how to do that. Some of you guys are actually even at the point where you have to turn away clients because you don't have the capacity to work with them. The next level of your marketing will involve a few higher level tactics that we want to perfect, right? And so this is what we teach inside of the Savvy Circle. And so I'm going to break it down for you here. The goal, what we bring you throughout Savvy Circle, is to have a evergreen, which means like constantly going process to be bringing you in new leads, right? So now you will see at the very bottom is referrals. And when I say referrals, that's not just referrals. A lot of that is that just the personal touch and relationships too. And forever, guys, I cannot stress this enough. I can teach you this whole marketing method, but if you ask anybody who's been in business 2, 3, 5, 10 years, what their number one source of new clients is, Rachel, what is it?
Referrals.
Referrals. So I cannot stress enough, just doing great work for your clients. Like if you just wow your clients, it might not seem like a big thing, but treating each one of your clients with excellence is such a huge way to get more business, right? So like don't, what's there's like a scripture, don't despise the day of small beginnings. Like don't like look down on the little things, right? Because those little things really can make a big difference. And when you're looking at referrals, just really treating your clients well can go such a far way. And I'll say this too. So one of the things we do inside of Savvy Circle is we amp up that referral process. So do you currently have a referral incentive? If one of your current clients sends another client to you, do you have a way to reward them? Are you actually asking your clients for referrals on a regular basis? So that's one of the things that we establish inside Savvy Circle is actually a 3 or 6 month process where you actually build it into, again, your systems, right? We talk about internal systems. You actually build it into your systems where you're asking current clients for other referrals and having a referral system in place. So that's one thing that you can do to amp up that channel of your marketing. Now, the other channel of your marketing is, again, that evergreen system. Evergreen meaning all the way going. And so this is not something for newbies. And this is where I see people sometimes make a mistake in their business is they want to set up this evergreen ongoing system in the very beginning, which I don't actually recommend. I think the fastest way to get clients is relationships, is going to networking meetings, is asking friends and family, is, those personal touch points. Once you have that good system going, now it's time to set up the evergreen system, which is it takes time up front, but over time it can build a form of almost passive leads for you, right? And so that's the goal. It takes more time to set up, but it's more longer lasting and has a potential to be bigger. But again, it takes more time to set up. So that's why we're always like, in Savvy System, our program for beginners is like, hey, the one-to-one outreach, that's where it's at. The second level is actually creating a system. So let me walk through what this looks like so it makes a little bit more sense. So we have you guys come up with what's going to be my pillar content, meaning what is it that I'm going to be known for? Again, this is why we start with your offer, because you've got to know what your niche is. If you are going to do Dubsado setup, you become the expert in Dubsado, right? If you are going to do copywriting, you know everything there is to know about copywriting and you become an expert in your field. If you're going to work only with, health coaches, what are all the different things that you could talk about to health coaches? And you start to come up with like, man, these are the things that I'm going to talk about. These are the pain points that my ideal clients are having, right? And then we normally will have you do some kind of a social channel. So again, this is why I don't recommend people do it in the very beginning, but once you're at a certain level in your business, it is a good idea to say, hey, maybe I'm going to start a podcast, or I'm going to start my own Facebook group, or I'm going to be really consistent on Instagram with an actual strategy and posting consistently, diving into my clients' pain points. Maybe you don't form your own platform and you get really good at going on other people's platform, right? Maybe you are a Pinterest expert and you go on every podcast you can go on to be a Pinterest expert, right? And to show your expertise. And so that content leads into a freebie, which leads them to an email list, right? And you guys have all done this. You're on probably the Virtual Savvy's email. Actually growing an email is a great way to build consistent leads, to position yourself as an expert, and to always, anytime you need clients, boom, we have 3 more spots for this package. If anybody's interested, come book a discovery call. It's that automatic way to, whenever you need more leads, to open up the gates and say, hey, here we go, and more people can get in. And so it also leads you into other opportunities like coaching or courses if you ever wanted to do something like that. But I will never regret the day that I started an email list, right? Like, it is such an incredible source of leads. It's a great source for even just asking your audience, like, again, once you're building an email list, you have an audience, so you can ask them, what other services would you like for my agency or for my, business to offer? They will tell you what they're going to buy. Like, it's so incredible to start building an audience. And so what we do is we have all of that lead to an actual sales page of your services as well. So again, you're not having to always just sell. People will get on a discovery call with you already knowing what your services is, who it's for, who it's not for, right? Potentially the pricing. I usually recommend people have pricing on their sales page. So a sales page for your services is one of the things that we help you with as well. I just did a lot of talking. So please, if you have questions about this process, I know this was like a general overview, go ahead and post them in the comments. I'm happy to answer some of those. Rachel, anything that I missed, because you are actually leading people, you and the coaches, through this process. Where are areas that you see people getting stuck in this process?
I would say what's been really cool to help so many of our members decide on and figure out is what is that freebie piece, right? I love this model so much because just like we mentioned yesterday and even today, what we're doing is stripping apart all and taking away all the complexity of what it looks like to scale and making it simple. And all of this just so nicely lines up and you can see the paths and connection points for all these different things. But helping our members inside of Savvy Circle identify first, what's that pillar content? Who am I known for? What is my expertise? And then how and what can I develop to position myself as that expert and provide value for my ideal audience that I'm going to share either on my social platforms or in my outreach, or just, always have available for people to grab and download. And so it's been really cool to watch through our critiques and different things and in our cohorts to see our members develop those freebies and put them out there and start positioning themselves of experts inside of their particular zone of genius. And everybody's so different, right? We have Samantha, who's in the pet industry. We have Tracy, who is a Dubsado specialist. So we have people of all kinds inside of our Savvy Circle, and it's been absolutely a joy to watch them follow this process and figure out exactly what they can share with the world.
Yeah. One of the things I would like to note too is that like this can look really like big and overwhelming. But I want to note, like, again, we're not about more hustle. This is not like, hey, put this together in a weekend, right? So
No.
this step is one of the steps that is in its own phase.
Yep.
And so normally this phase will take people 3 or 4 months to get through, right? Because again, you guys are busy. You're CEOs. You're running your business, right? And so it's not necessarily a like, oh, I have to get this out over the weekend. This is a, hey, let's start slowly putting these things in place and getting it to fit into your normal schedule, right?
Yeah.
And freeing you up, which is what we're going to talk about in the next step, to where you actually have the time and the capacity to do these. If I'm going to start a podcast, I'm going to need the time to start a podcast. That's what we're going to talk about here in a second, right? We've already simplified your offer. So hopefully you're not offering a million things to everybody. Your offer is more streamlined. You're charging more for your offer. So that's already clearing up some space for you. The next step is clearing up more space because we're going to talk about building a team. This is the one step that actually takes more effort. But again, we do it over about a 3 or 4 month span so that it's not overwhelming, so that it becomes actually just replacing some of your client work with like positioning work, with getting out there and positioning yourself as an expert. Okay. So there's lots of nuances of how you can do this. But yeah, we have a couple questions here. Where do you keep your download freebie to share with others? Google Drive. So most email software. So what we have you do is actually choose an email software system. So that could be MailerLite, Active Campaign, ConvertKit. There's tons of different types of email management system. So whenever someone joins an email list, you're not just emailing them like from Gmail, because at a certain point that will get marked as spam and you'll get your account shut down if you're just sending hundreds of emails out with Gmail. And so that's why there's these email management systems, like I said, Active Campaign or MailerLite, ConvertKit, that you can send out mass emails. And most of those, or all of them, will allow you to actually upload your PDF document. A lot of times is what a freebie is a PDF. It doesn't have to be. It can be a video. It could be, I've seen people do like private podcasts or like a video series or some kind of Excel template or something. Like there's lots of different things it could be, but you will have to have a way to link to it, which your email software would be able to provide for you. Let's see. We have a couple other questions. How much content is too much to put into the freebie? That's a great question. So, I am generally, I lean more toward the give more. Like one of our core values at the Virtual Savvy is one, that we practice irrational generosity and that we give value first. Like value first marketing is something that I'm a really big fan of. So I love freebies that I'm like, wow, I should have paid for this.
Mhm.
It's so good. Like that's my personal belief because it just shows like I'm good. Like I'm gonna give you the good stuff, right? Now, if you give away your entire proprietary system so that literally somebody could go and copy your services and not, like there is a level, right? There is a level where it's too much. But if you can get one really small pain point but solve it in a big way.
Mhm.
Again, like if someone took action on your freebie, would one of their pain points be relieved? That's what you want.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else? Do you have any thoughts on that question,
No,
Rachel?
that's really good. And my simple answer to that question is always you want to give as, if not all, of the what inside of the freebie. Whatever that is going to be, like a training or a download or a template, whatever that is, you give them all the what. You
Yeah.
don't give them all the how. You give them just enough that they could potentially do it on their own to whet their appetite. But then all of the how comes through contacting you and working with you. So you give them as much, if not all of the what, but not all the how.
Yeah, I love so Vanessa mentioned, but you often want people to be able to take some tangible action through your freebie that
Mhm.
adds value to their business. Yes, like a small win.
Yeah.
It's why I'm not a huge fan of freebies. Like sometimes I'll see freebies that are like 30 days to increase your traffic from Pinterest.
Mhm.
Like that's too long. Like you need a quick win. You need something in your freebie that somebody could take action on in a day or 2 days or at least gives them the what right away. And then knowing the how, it's like, oh, that's kind of overwhelming to actually do it all. And so then they'll hire you, right? And so but an actual like I'm not a fan of freebies that are spread out over like a 30-day time period because it's almost like too overwhelming. And then they feel like, oh, I have to finish that before I can come do your services, right? Like you don't want to give somebody a reason to not need you. And so if you can
Mhm.
give them a quick win, again, take a small pain point, solve it in a really big way through a quick action that they can do, something tangible that they can do. And it's like, oh, man, I really got results from this. That's going to make a big difference.
Yeah.
All
Good
right, cool.
questions.
Let's keep going. Again, we'll do a Q&A at the end. Let's talk a little bit about Nicole. She's actually going to be joining us here a little bit. Friggin' love
Yes.
this girl. Her business is on fire, and it's just so fun to watch everything that she's done. Tell us a little bit about Nicole's story.
I would love to. If y'all are hanging out, Nicole is in the comments. She's been on fire answering questions and supporting there. And we're going to meet her here in just a few minutes along with Vanessa. But you can read all the ins and outs here on the screen. I love this quick snapshot of Nicole's story of before and after. And it's been a personal joy of mine to be able to have interacted with Nicole in that before part and see where she is now. So before, she's making $3K a month. All right. But she was stuck at that 3K a month. And she actually had to stop her marketing because she couldn't handle any more work. Just like we talked about yesterday. If she were to have been given 20 more leads, she wouldn't have been able to take them. She was stuck at that point in her business. But after, she was able to then bring 10K above per week. She was even able to replace her six-figure salary from corporate. She can make it to the gym on a regular basis, take her amazing dog Turbo for long walks during the day, and even working a 4-day work week. She says, before starting my social media biz, my job and clients were the priority. I had very limited time for family, friends, and self-care. I completely burned out and walked away from it all. I had finally realized no six-figure paycheck was worth what I had to give up. She started building up a social media management team, and now she's also working as a mindset coach. And we are so honored and privileged to have her as one of our cohort coaches inside of Savvy Circle. And her story is absolutely inspirational. And if you have questions specifically for Nicole, you can drop them in the comments, or we can pull them up later when she's live with us as well.
We are like too lucky. Like
Just
there
feel
is
lucky, it's
no
ridiculous.
reason why we should have, like the coaches we have are literally
Unreal.
coaches. They're so good. Yes, I'm so excited that you get to meet both Nicole and Vanessa here in a bit. I love what she said too about that she created SOPs, systems.
Mm-hmm.
SOPs are standard operating procedures. Again, it's those systems. It's we're going to do the same thing over and over for our clients so we can perfect it, perfect it, perfect the system because it comes easier. And then you can hire subcontractors. She said, by the time I had my first hire and thought, why the heck didn't I do this sooner? I currently have a team of 3, which I think, I don't know if that number is even accurate anymore, but like the having a team of people and why didn't I do this sooner? That's what we're going to talk about here because step 4 is cultivated team growth.
Oh, but
All right.
before you do that, Abby, did you see Megan's comment?
Oh, look, I love this.
Oh, we
In real
only
time, you guys. I just landed another client while on this call. Boom. Hey, Megan. Woo, congratulations. That's amazing. I love that.
we had to stop. Sorry, keep going.
Yes.
We had to pull
No,
that
I
up.
love it. I love it. All right. So I would actually love to get a pulse check from you guys because once we start talking about team, people sometimes get a little leery. Okay. So I want to know from you guys on a scale from 1 to 10, what is your comfort level in
Mm.
hiring a team? How willing are you? How comfortable are you? How nervous are you? 1 is like, no way, I will never hire a team. 10 is like, yep, I've already done it. Or like, I really, really want to, and I see the necessity of it. Like, I'm excited to have a team someday. So I'd love to see, we see Dawn at a 10.5. Like, that's okay. Can't wait to hire a team. Okay, awesome. There are people who don't want a team. And I will tell you that so Savvy Circle, we don't require you to want to grow a team. It is something that we highly encourage. And a team doesn't necessarily, like sometimes we think team and you're like, a team of 10 people. No, I can't do that. Right. But like, oftentimes it literally could just be like one subcontractor or one VA just to help you. Even maybe you're still working one-on-one with your clients, but you have a VA that comes in to handle some of the back end, handle invoicing, handle emails, handle socials, right? Like they handle your business while you work one-on-one with your clients. So it doesn't always have to be that you're subcontracting out the work, although I am a fan of that too. Because again, when you have a team, I think this is actually I'm gonna show this comment because I feel like this like just so hits exactly how most of us feel. I'm very willing but so nervous to trust others with my name. Oh my goodness, I think you hit the nail right on the head, Lizzie, because that's it. You have worked so hard on your business, right? And like to make a name for your business, that to trust somebody else to carry that out can be scary, right? And oh my gosh, I get that so, so much. So that's what we're going to talk about. It is totally normal to have that fear, 100%. Like that is it is more normal. Like if you don't have that fear actually, then you should probably be a little concerned, right? Like it's because that means that you care so much about your business. And so that's what that is why we dive into what are like the best systems and how can you hire somebody who's going to take your mission, your values, right? Like the way, because your core values, again, of your business are really just a reflection of you. What are your personal core values? And so you hire people that believe in those same core values. And some of them will go on to literally blow your mind with how they fulfill them, right? Like that is one of the most exciting things because, like, one of our core values, I mean, I could just go on and on and on, but like one of ours is we respect all people at all times and we serve with irrational generosity. Freaking Rachel on our team since day one has been going like out of her way. Like she actually loves and serves people better than I do. Even though it was like my core value in the beginning, like she actually has the ability to do it even better than I do. And so like, it's so cool when you can bring the right people that actually add to your business instead of taking it away, right? And so just know it's possible and it can be a game changer. When you actually hire people and hire the right people, it not only allows you to, again, add to your team, add to your core values, add to your mission, but also can free you up personally to being the CEO, to being the visionary or to just doing the things that you love in your business. Close your eyes for a second and imagine, like, what are the things that you love to do? What are the things in your business that you're like, oh, this lights me up. Like, this is it. This is why I do what I do, because of this moment, right? Like, do you have that thing? Like, this is what I love to do. What if like 90% of your time could be spent doing just those things, right? And if all the things that you're like, I just kind of do this because I have to, if those could be the things that you outsource, right? Because there are actually people who love doing the things that you hate.
Mm-hmm.
What? Like, that's one of my favorite tests is uh the Strength Finders quiz.
Mm-hmm.
Have you guys ever taken Strength Finders? You can order on Amazon. It's a book. You need to order it like on Amazon because it comes with a code at the end. But I love the Strength Finders exam, and it tells you what your top 5 strengths are. What's so cool about Strength Finders is that it's, I forget how many there are total. Do you remember? It's like 30 or
30?
30 strengths.
I think so.
So there's like 30 strengths. I have a top 5 strength and I got a bottom 5, right? Like, I got things that I am just not good at.
Mm-hmm.
And what's amazing is that my bottom strengths, which you could call my weaknesses, are just an opportunity for somebody else's strengths. Like, there's literally people who are, those are their top 5 things. What are my bottom 5 things, right? So how cool to bring somebody in that it's the things that I hate are actually their passion. Amazing. And that's where you get this well-rounded business that's operating on all cylinders, right? And gives you time freedom. Like Narissa said, having a team allows me to travel freely, not miss a beat with my clients, right? So good. And you know, something for me, I'll note too, like, I started a team from day one. I actually started my business when I was 8 months pregnant. And so I was like, oh, crud, I'm going to have somebody else from the beginning, right? And so I did this from day one. I started outsourcing some of the work that I did, hiring subcontractors, right? And so how it worked for me in those beginning days is I actually, in the very beginning, still was the only person that talked to my clients. And then you can eventually change this model. But again, it's that whole like putting my name, somebody else's, having somebody else represent me. I in the very beginning was like a little leery of that, as most of you are. So what I did in the beginning was I hired subcontractors. So I would have my clients, right, would give me the tasks. I would have the work. And then I would pass it down to my subcontractors. They would actually complete the work, give it back to me. I would check it, put my stamp of approval, and give it back to my clients, right? And so in the beginning, like my clients had no interaction with my team. Now, over time, I think it's good to change that model. You can have somebody else be the pass. You can have your clients, ones or your subcontractors, the one that you really trust, actually start interacting with your clients. But there are ways to do this in a way that you don't just off the gate having somebody that you just met, just trust, being like, here, take my clients now. And now you're representing me and my business and everything I've worked so hard for, right? So there are really, there are systems around that, right? Another thing is that when you are hiring, whether it's employees, subcontractors, just a VA or somebody for your own business, there's a lot of questions that you should probably ask yourself. And this is a great thing to maybe take a screenshot of. And this is a good journaling exercise for you, right? So later go back and actually answer these questions for yourself. What type of team culture would you like to have within your team? The crazy thing is, guys, you might not realize it, but if you are a solopreneur, it is just you and your business, you already have a team culture. You do, because your team culture is the things that you believe, the way that you treat your clients, the way that you market yourself, the way that you act toward potential and current clients and past clients. You already have a team culture. And so one of the first activities that you do before hiring is just putting what already exists to paper, right? And actually writing out, this is what my culture is and what I want it to be and what I want to be multiplied. And like we talked about earlier, not just multiplied, but amplified by hiring a team. Where is my time currently going? Where should my time be going? Again, like that whole, these are the things that I hate doing. One of the things that we encourage you to do is a time study. Anybody ever done a time study? Let me know in the comments. I kind of hate them, but they're so good. Nobody likes tracking their time, but it's such a valuable exercise to take a week and just to track every single thing that you're doing. And then to look back at the week and being like, all right, what am I made for? What am I designed for? What like just lights me up and makes me feel alive? And what are the things that I'm like, I freaking hate doing that. Sometimes you'll be surprised. Sometimes you'll be surprised that you're spending the majority of the time doing the things that you hate, right?
Yep.
Or things that are not your number one skill. So, where's my time currently going? Where should it be going? What in my business could be cut out altogether? Maybe there's things that you're doing that you just don't need to be doing at all. Like we do this, the book Clockwork, which is a great book. They have their time exercise is trash, trim, transfer. And so are you doing, let's see. So trash is like, I just shouldn't be doing this at all. Like I'm having a meeting with this person once a week, and this is just like this subcontractor or this course that I'm taking and I'm spending an hour a week on. It's not even good and it's not even helping me. I just need to trash that, right? So trash trim would be like, I'm doing weekly hour-long meetings with my clients. Like there's no reason why those can't be 30-minute meetings. That's trim. And then transfer is what I was talking about earlier. This is something that I'm doing that somebody else should be doing. Or sometimes it's a tool, right? Like I'm spending all this time onboarding clients, whereas if I just invested in something like Depsato or Honeybook, it could onboard them completely for me without me ever even having to do anything, right? Trash, trim, transfer. All right, I need to go a little faster. Do I have systems and SOPs in place to train somebody well? What will the job description of my first hire be? Will I hire a contractor or employee? 99% of us are going to hire contractors. I wouldn't recommend going the employee model until you're at like high six figures. That's when it usually starts to make a difference. And you can hire yourself as an employee too, which is great to have W-2 income. But again, that usually comes later. What type of agreement or contract should we have in place? Please always have a contract in place with your subcontractors. What systems will I use to manage their work? So you want to have a project management tool like ClickUp or Asana or even like Trello can be a project management system. Like it's maybe not the best one, but there's lots of different project management systems out there. What will the interview process look like? Will we operate under a trial period to ensure they're the right fit? I highly recommend that. What will our feedback loops be? How often are you going to touch base with these people, right? What legalities do I need to be aware of in hiring? What does my future organizational chart look like? Something that I like to do is I have an org chart now, which your org chart might just be you. Like you, it's like, I am all fulfillment. I am social media. I am admin. I am, and so literally you can make an org chart with all those different roles and just put your name on them. And then like, okay, well, what would the next phase in 3 months? In 3 months, who would I like to have hired? In 3 months, I'd like to have my own VA, right? That's handling a little bit of my social media, that's writing emails, that doing some of the back end work for my business. All right, in 6 months, I'd like to have not only that VA, but 2 subcontractors that are doing some of like the actual client work for me. And so really casting that vision of what the future growth of your team will look like is really important. Anything before I go on, Rachel?
No, girl, you covered a whole gamut of things, extra things I didn't even thought we were going to touch on. Y'all, she's giving away so much. It's ridiculous.
This is what we go over inside the program. And I know it's a lot. That's why it's a year-long program. So
good. So good. So you're going to meet Vanessa in just a quick second. We're almost getting to the end of our training today, but I wanted to share her story as well. Now, if you remember Nicole's story just a few slides ago, we looked at her before and after, but it correlated to how much money she was bringing in. We had a question in the comments of, do we talk about different ways to scale inside of Savvy Circle? 100%, because not every business is the same. Not every business owner is the same. And there's several options, different scale paths is what we call them, that you can choose from. And right at the beginning, when we talk about choosing your niche, we talk about what does that scale path look like for you. And for Vanessa, we can see before she was working 60 hours a week. What was she doing? She was fulfilling all of the roles on that org chart. She was doing it all by herself 100% of the time. But after she was able to scale, she got clear on her niche, all right? And she kept fully aligned with her one-on-one clients. figured out what that looked like for her inside of her business. Then the after side of it, she's working 25 hours a week. And what does that give her? It gives her the time away from her business and trust that all of her clients are being fully taken care of. She has confidence that she's setting herself up for long-term sustainability. How good does that sound? Her business isn't a temporary solution. It's part of my life's vision. I love that so much. We're going to talk to her in just a quick second too. But before we do, we want to kind of pause and take some time for reflection and set ourselves up for success in some action that we can take. So just like yesterday, we have 2 quick questions for you, and we want you to think about them and respond in the comments as well. So here's the first one. Do you already have a referral system in place? Have you rewarded your clients when they send somebody your way? It's been so fun to watch our Savvy Circle members kind of get creative with what that looks like and how they're going to reward somebody for sending somebody along the way. Do you have a referral system set in place? Let us know, yes or no, in the comments. And the second one, what is the first role you could see hiring for yourself inside of your business? Is it that social media? Is it maybe some of that bookkeeping on the back end? That was one of the first things that I outsourced because I hate doing it so much. I brought in a team member to handle all of the back end business side of things. What's the first role that you would consider hiring inside of your business? Let us know in the comments as well. And then we want you to take this time of reflection and take action in what that looks like.
Yeah.
Abby, what are we going to talk about tomorrow?
So as you guys are putting that in the comments, and go ahead if you have questions, because we're about to do our Q&A as well. Go ahead and put those in the comments as well. So we have covered a lot in these first 2 days. We've talked about our irresistible offers, seamless internal systems, viral visibility, cultivated team growth, and tomorrow we're going to talk about efficient internal operations as well as predictive forecasting. We're getting into some numbers tomorrow, people. It's going to be so good. Icing on the cake tomorrow. I do want to remind you all, the savvycircle.com applications are open. So go ahead and apply. If you are around that 2K mark in your business, that's generally, again, if you're a little less than that, you may still be a good fit. Like if you're fully booked, or if you're getting close to being fully booked, these are the people that we really love to partner with you in your business and bring you to that next level. Again, it is a year-long coaching program that you work with us. This is the highest touch capacity that you can work with our team. You're not only working with our incredible coaches, you get to meet with me once a month in our in a session as well. And so this is just literally the most hands-on program that we have to work with our team. And this is because we love partnering with you to get you to those 10K months, right? Or potentially beyond. We have many students who end up going beyond that mark as well. And it's such a joy. It is so fun, the work that we get to do, right? Like it is so fun. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to bring on Vanessa and Nicole, 2 of our wonderful coaches, to do our Q&A time with us. And let's see, Rachel, do we already have some questions? Hey, lady.
Well,
hey.
We need some more questions, y'all. We have answered all the ones that I have on my list. So if you have specific questions for Vanessa or Nicole, drop them in the comments. I wrote down a question that I want to ask as well. But Vanessa and Nicole, before we jump in, I would love for each of you to answer this simple question. Okay. What would you say to somebody who's thinking about applying to Savvy Circle, but they're just not sure it's the right time? What would you say to them in their thought process and their consideration? Nicole, I'll have you go first, and then Vanessa after her.
Well, welcome everybody. This has been so much fun getting to know some of you in the chats and everything these past couple of days. Oh my gosh. So if you are on the fence, I say, this system, this program is unlike anything I have ever seen. And I have been an online entrepreneur since 2019. Besides this being the most sound business development program I've ever seen, We take you through everything soup to nuts. It's so well thought out. It's built by Abby and her team, now a $3 million plus company. You know, you have no better example of how Abby and her team did it. They're giving it all away to you. But we have such camaraderie in the group, the coaches, the other students. Everybody has formed personal relationships. They support each other. They show up for each other in the daily chats. They show up for each other on the weekly calls. You know, everybody knows we're on this journey together, and creating a business doesn't happen, you know, in a vacuum. So everything affects everything. So everybody brings it all to the table, and you get to see like, oh my gosh, my fears are the same fears that everybody else in the group is dealing with. Some of the stuff I'm dealing with in my family life, these other people are also dealing with it while building their biz. And they're helping each other get through these things, so that things that can become an obstacle or a roadblock when you're trying to do it all alone just melt away, because you're like, I am being lifted up by this group of other people who believe in me, believe in my service, believe in what I'm doing. And we are essentially doing it together.
Oh, I love that. Nicole, Vanessa, what would you say?
Oh no, we're muted. We're muted.
Hold on.
Wait a second. Okay, we're here now. Can you hear me? So as someone who went through Savvy System, the first thing I can say is that I wish that Savvy Circle would have existed when I was starting my business, because it wasn't even alive in 2019 when I launched my business. And so you all are just super fortunate that this exists now, because I have not seen any other programs that are like Savvy Circle. And I mean, I totally agree with everything that Nicole shared, that it's just so comprehensive in as far as resources and coaching around just really giving you all of the resources that you would need to be able to successfully scale your business. But what I really love is that at the end of the day, the goal is to scale the business that you want to have. Like, we are providing a framework for you that we know is successful, right? Like, but all the decisions that you get to make are all yours, because at the end of the day, it's your vision, it's your dream, it's your business that is made to fit around the life that you want to have. And so what's so fun is seeing how all of our students go through the same program, but they all come out with businesses that look completely different, that serve them. And you know, and the other thing is that when we're doing it alone, you know, we have like a finite number of ideas sometimes in our mind of like how we can do things, and just helping people realize the possibilities that exist and to embrace ideas that they never even had imagined before. Because within our community, we're seeing so many different ways of scaling their businesses that, you know, it's just amazing to like watch people light up and be like, oh, that was like the missing piece. That was the thing I needed. So just like the collaboration that exists, you know, within that community, and the support is just really beautiful.
I love that. Thanks, coaches. This warms my heart so much. All right. That gave us some time to get some questions. So let's dive in and answer some questions. First, I saw this question. I think Erica answered it. When do the calls start for Savvy Circle, and what time are they usually held? Is there anything else at a set time? I'll answer that real quick. So our coaching calls, our cohort calls, happen on Tuesdays at 1:30 p.m. Central. They're 90 minutes in length. We have a quick announcement time to chat together all as a group, and then you split into your cohorts with your coach, and you get support in that smaller group setting. That's the only regularly reoccurring call that's set. Now, we do have extra guest experts that come in. We try to have a guest expert every month. We have working hours that happen every month. Ask Abby happens on a regular basis. So there's a variety of other calls that happen that are on a set time, but our calendar is always up to date. Next question. Abby, I'm going to throw this one at you first. Where do you find team members to hire? If you hire a subcontractor, why would they want to be a subcontractor versus building your own business? Great question, Lexi.
Yeah, Lexi, that is such a good question. So there's different ways. There's not one set way. And so I'll give you my 2 cents, but then I'd love to maybe hear from Nicole and Vanessa too, because they're a little bit more in the grunt of it right now. So when I first started my business, I didn't actually know. I know we had another question too of like, when is the best time
Mhm.
to hire subcontractors? Where was that one? Yeah, like when should you actually start? When are you ready to hire subcontractors? So again, I did it from the very beginning. I don't think there is a too soon necessarily. If that again aligns with your vision. Some people don't want to do that right away, and that's fine. I not only wanted but needed to do it right away because I was about to be taking like a maternity leave like 2 months after I started my business. So I had to do it like right away. And it was my vision. I always wanted to have a team and be a big team. I'm a visionary, and I'm not as much a do everything kind of person. And so that really made sense for me and my business model. So I don't think there's a too soon. Now, when I started, I didn't know, like there wasn't a VA Savvies community. There wasn't, any of those things. There weren't the resources that there are now. So I literally just found like friends and family. What you said, Lizzie, like why would somebody want to do this versus building their own business? I actually think finding people who don't want to build their own business is a really good way to find subcontractors, because when you hire, let's say you find a VA that's in our VA Savvies group and they're trying to build their own business and they're kind of taking this just as side income while they're building their own business. If they're really good, they're going to take off and they're going to get their own clients, and they're going to get their own clients at a higher rate because again, you're making less money as a subcontractor than you would with your own clients, obviously. So once they take off, if they're really good, which they will, then they're probably going to end up like not needing the subcontract work anymore, right? And so your really best people, you're going to have more turnover with. So I actually personally believe that it is better to find people who aren't necessarily out to have a full-blown agency themselves or a full-blown six-figure business themselves. There are people out there who are incredibly talented who are like, man, I am a homeschooling mom and I've got 10 hours a week to make some side income, and I don't want to go out and market. I don't want to go have my own business. You're saying I can sit in my pajamas at 2 o'clock in the morning after, like kids are asleep, husband's asleep, and I could make, 15, $20 an hour just creating some graphics? Yes, please sign me up, right? Like those people, in my opinion, are the best. So how does that happen? Just like you get your other clients, a lot of times just personal connections, right? Literally going to your old high school friends, people that are in like your kids' moms, like the kids' friends' moms, right? Whoever like just your personal connections, college students, right? I mean, there's people who like this is just a great way to make side income. I know that I had my husband and I used to be youth pastors, and our one of our well actually no, it wasn't Vanessa. So one of our Savvy System people hired her, and I'm trying to remember who it was now. But she was a college student, and so she didn't have a ton of extra hours to work, but she ended up being a subcontractor for one of our Savvy System students, and all of her friends are like, she's in New York City, and they're all like getting on their snow boots, having to walk 2 blocks to go work at McDonald's, making, $15 an hour or whatever. And she's sitting in her dorm room in her pajamas, just sitting there working as a subcontractor, as happy as could be, right? Like she didn't want to grow her own business, but like to be able to like sit and work she was making Pinterest images for this other person. Like it was the best thing ever for her, right? And so that's my personal opinion. There are sites like Upwork and freelancer.com and like all of those. Someday they'll be Hello Savvy again once we relaunch it. But so there are freelancing sites. You can potentially find these people in our VA Savvies community, or if you're a Savvy System student, potentially finding people who want to get started there. But that's my personal opinion. Nicole, Vanessa, I'd love to hear kind of your experience, because I know that you both have experience hiring subcontractors as well, and you might have a different opinion than me. And that's totally fine. Again, there's not just one right way to grow a business.
Do you want to go first, Vanessa?
Sure. Actually, I totally agree with you. When I decided to start hiring a team, I started with people that I already knew because I trusted them. Because that to me was the most important piece. Like I can teach someone how to do just about anything, but I can't teach someone how to be trustworthy. And so, yeah, I definitely started with people I knew, and that worked out to be a really great experience because, again, they weren't necessarily actively trying to build a business of their own. And they were just looking for some kind of steady income. But then I have also hired using like an application process within the Virtual Savvy group. And that was a really positive experience. I will say that, when you are hiring, what's really important is having a really clear job description and having a really clear process outlined, which is something that we support you with inside of Savvy Circle, because that literally makes all the difference in like a successful hire versus a not so successful hire. So yeah, those are the methods that have worked best for me in my business.
So good.
So similarly, this is the overarching theme, I think, to hiring your first team members. We can't be shy to talk about our businesses, right? The more you talk about what you're doing, the more you utilize the free marketing that is all social media, talking about it on your personal Facebook page, talk about, I'm looking to hire team members. People are going to start to approach you when they're like, oh my gosh, what are you doing? So for my very, very first hire, similarly to Vanessa, I had issues with trust. I was very fearful. But again, because I was growing a network of other entrepreneurs that were doing the same thing as me, I connected with people who were a few steps ahead of me and shared that fear. And one of them said, you know what? I actually have an amazingly trustworthy subcontractor that I don't have enough hours for. I would love to introduce you to her because I would love to see her getting more hours. She's still with me to this day. And then about just sharing my journey and talking about my business on Facebook, one of my mom's coworkers told her daughter, hey, do you know what Nicole's doing? She has this business. And she reached out to me and said, hey, are you looking for help? And now she's my executive assistant. So it happens just by being you, sharing your story, sharing your journey. That's how to, I feel like, best get your first couple. But then once you get more confident, you can dive into, even more strategic ways to continue to build your team.
Oh, so good. And real quick, Natalie asked in the comments, how long about do you spend managing your team per week? Vanessa and Nicole.
So my business has gone through some shifts. I had an agency and then I transitioned out of an agency. So my team members right now, it's my social media manager and she's exceptionally self-sufficient. I don't do anything to manage her at all. Like I literally, I write my own content and then she creates all the graphics. She does all the things and just sends it to me to approve. So
That's awesome.
Zero.
Very cool.
For the most part. When I had an agency, it varied, sometimes a couple of hours a week. If they were having if there was something I needed to teach them how to do that was new, or they were maybe struggling with one of the clients they supported, I might need to hop on a call with them. But most of our communication happened inside of our Slack and through like Loom videos that I would record for them. So it wasn't a lot of it wasn't like hours, or calls like daily or weekly. But a lot of that just also really depends on I had a very refined onboarding process where I did all of that. They had like a self-paced training on the front end, and I had systems set up in place to check in on them. So, they didn't often need a lot of support. And I also took all the time off that I needed on my vacations. And if they had questions, they just waited till I got back, and so I could also have that freedom to fully step away and they would just do the best they could.
Same minimally. And I feel like, again, I came out of the Savvy system first as well. And now being in Savvy Circle, we fully teach you how to set it up because if you understand your process, if you understand your workflows and can explain that to somebody, then they can just be off to the races. I had a social media management company, again, exceeding 10K months consistently, a team of 4 people. If I spent an hour a week communicating with them, that was a lot because everybody knew their deliverables. We had set ways to communicate with each other. So having a team, if it's taking you more time to manage them, something's not right in that process, but we're going to help you identify that.
So good. Yeah, Vanessa says we, support you with that. We don't just support you with that. We give you all the templates for job descriptions and all of that inside of Savvy Circle. So if you're just not sure if Savvy Circle is the right fit, or you're feeling that gut, ooh, maybe I should apply, just do it. It doesn't cost anything. thesavvycircle.com. We're taking applications until next Thursday, May 11th. And I'll give you a little sneak peek. If you're able to join before we close applications, we have a special bonus that we're going to give to you, and we'll talk about that more tomorrow, but you'll find about all that information if your application is approved. So you got nothing to lose. Fill out that application, and our team will be in contact with you within 24 hours. Nicole and Vanessa, it was a joy to have you with us today. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Abby, what else do we have? Did I miss anything?
No, that's all. Thank you again, Vanessa and Nicole. Thank you all for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. If you're on the fence, if you're like, I don't know if Savvy Circle is right for me, go ahead and apply, because even if it's not, we can give you kind of the, hey, here are the steps that you need to take to be ready, so that next time, all right, here are the things that I need to achieve in order to kind of get to that next place. So thesavvycircle.com. We can't wait to see your applications. And yeah, I think that's all we have for you. Thanks again, ladies.
Bye, guys.